they're painting everyone with the same brush. That's problematic. There's a long list of people that they've vilified.
Okay.
I'm just saying, I don't want to.
That's one aspect. He goes in that aspect. He finds the corruption within it and the violence within these movements. He also advocates other alternative media as well.
Okay, but targeting individual activists
Yeah.
online and coming to protests and filming them like I'm doing right now, it's not a particularly comfortable thing that people enjoy. People are not enjoying you filming them from afar using your long lens. From the car?
I'm sure if they wanted to have a nice debate with them, with actual information,
No, I
they'd be
did
fine
not
with
say
that.
it from a car. I said from afar.
Right.
How about the targeting of the individual?
Normally these people, they just call them names and stuff like that in slander. When they could simply go up and have a discussion with them and they can exchange information.
I don't think that I've tried to slander anyone.
No, you're saying that he just paintbrushes them all bad, and when you look at the reactions of people when he covers these events, that's what he gets.
You can believe what you want.
You call people an agent at a protest.
Okay, so if
What
there's
I see
videos
are people
and
that
people are
turn the
slandering him, so that's just what I believe, or is that actual fact that's documented?
Whatever you want to believe.
So if there's a documented fact, it's something that I believe.
So do you believe that there's some kind of conspiracy within these movements that people are acting against?
Sure, there's influence.
All right. Well, it's becoming a cyclical argument, but
How is it becoming cyclical? You're
the table show?
Well, if you want to destroy stuff, then how does it help activism? That's the thing.
Well, that's what he's doing.
Like smash the state, burn everything down, and then everyone's going to be happy after. is that the thing? That's the thing.
So
it's like Dick Cheney's an individual, right? So it's like if we're targeting an individual out here, all of us, then are we all evil people for doing that?
No. I'm not accusing you guys of being evil. Not at all.
But you're saying that that's the big problem, though, is targeting individuals.
Well, yes.
So the movement to target Dick Cheney is the problem. That's why the whole thing, we're just here against the war. Dick Cheney's fine. Oh yeah.
I'll tell you one other thing. Why I care about this so much, and I'll share this with you. Maybe you publish it honestly or not. We'll see.
Well, I may not publish it.
When the Berlin Wall was falling down, I heard about it. I was living in the States.
Were you there?
I was right when it was falling down, not the day, but a few days after I was there. I got myself over to Europe, and I went to go see what happened in Berlin. It was pretty amicable. People walked away from each other and they said, "Okay, we're going to start a new country," and it was pretty good.
Yeah.
I was in Prague for the revolution. In Prague.
Why don't you film him? He's speaking.
Oh, I thought you wanted to hear this.
Well, no, I'm wondering why Frank's filming me when you're speaking.
Oh, I don't know.
Well, you're interviewing him, so why are you filming me?
Well, your camera was pointed at me.
Because your camera's because you're professional protesters. What can I say? They're always good for a laugh.
So in Prague, we had the Velvet Revolution. And everyone, the Czechs and the Slovaks sat together between each other, shared a beer and said, "Let's split amicably." Turned out to be a pretty good country. They're surviving pretty well. Romania, I was there for the revolution. Romania, they took Ceausescu and they shot him on live TV nationally across the country. Romania is one of the most fucked up countries in the world still. And a lot of that is because of the way their revolution came out of violence. You look what happened in Belarus. Belarus came out of violence and conflict. Belarus, there's other reasons it's screwed up because of Chernobyl and such, but Belarus also is suffering from the violent split. I was down in Yugoslavia. I went down there and worked in a refugee camp during the war. And I saw the pain that people had from splitting up violently. Now, the Yugoslavia pain and splitting up came out of the trainings and the work of Otpor, which is the Yugoslavian activist organization, Serbian, that is behind many of the color revolutions around the world. When I came to Toronto, what did I learn? But the leaders of Occupy Toronto were at Otpor training in New York City. When I look at violent revolution and the result of violent revolution in this world, the only thing I've seen is absolute pain and horrific times afterwards for the people. When I was in Russia, when there was a revolution, it wasn't so violent for the end of the Cold War, but it was a complete uphauling of society. And what did I see on my first day in Moscow? A little lady dead on the sidewalk. It was Christmas Eve for us. It wasn't Christmas Eve for them. But she was frozen dead like a popsicle. I go to the police station. I drag the cops over. I don't speak Russian at the time. I just go, and they go, "Jesus, it's life." Because they were so used to seeing dead old ladies on the sidewalk from their revolution that they didn't know, they didn't even give a damn anymore. Little old lady, the next day I saw selling tomatoes in an underground walkway by the subway, negative 35 degrees. Her tomatoes are moldy and black and ugly because the revolution and the massive change that happened in the society, without thinking about it first, resulted in little old ladies dying and selling moldy tomatoes for days in negative 35-degree weather. Violent revolution results in societal violence, results in horrible things happening to people in this world. So if you want to know why I care, that's why I care, because I've seen what it does. I've seen what violent overturns do. I've seen what amicable thinking revolutions do. And if we're going to have a violent, angry, raise our fist revolution, it's going to mess up Canada, and little old ladies will be dead on the sidewalk, mark my words.
So why don't you organize other protests than your own protests?
I have organized protests. I've organized one of the most, well, the single most successful protests against the Prime Minister in this country. Sorry?
When was that?
I was in Vancouver in 2011. I organized Occupy Harper, where we legally blockaded Harper in a building for an hour and a half.
But that would be called violent by some, right?
No, it wasn't.
But some people would call it that. Like,
There was no violence in there. We stood quietly, silently, sang songs on a sidewalk. And we weren't blocking a highway. We weren't doing anything illegal in any way, shape, or form. In the end, we forced the Prime Minister to embarrass himself by having his car drive out through a bike racks, running over a girl's bike, and the Global Mail headline said, "Prime Minister runs over a girl's bike." That was a really good protest. Anyway, so you think I'm on one side or the other? No, I'm on.
No, I'm just trying to figure out why you're filming individuals and why you're
explained to you.
targeting individuals.
I'm not targeting individuals. I'm targeting
You are
problems.
absolutely targeting. That's what the website says.
That's what you're doing right now, and that's what you just been explaining. This
No,
protest is all about.
I just want us to have evidence.
I'm writing about people who I see who are putting bad ideas and
People's minds.
people who are, well, not just bad ideas in people's minds, but people who are perverting what activism really should be.
I just don't understand why you haven't organized things here. If you're so upset with activist movements here, why aren't you organizing your own organization, like the Nonviolent Running Society, or?
I would say the fact that your camera's been concentrated on me in the last half hour says that my activism has been successful.
Well, no, I'm just worried about people being identified, filmed, targeted individually. So I'm turning the camera on you and just wondering about your motives and those things.
I've explained myself.
Okay. Thanks. Perfectly accepted.